Hello everybody, my name is Alan. I'm from Sauber-Lab and today will be another video about Proxmox. This video will be number 11 where we're gonna show you how you can use a share folder. And you're gonna ask what means share folder. Basically it's a mount point in your network, can be another device, can be another computer where have this facility. In this case we're gonna use the NFS, but potentially you can use others. Also in this video I will show how to make a mount using the TrueNAS. With NFS you can use OpenMediaVault, you can use a Synology NAS or anything. So if you have only one computer and you don't have another server or another NAS, you're not gonna be able to follow it because you have some restriction. You need to have another computer or other system running in order to have this mount. So if you like this idea and want to learn a little bit more about it, we're gonna show in this video. But first of all, don't forget to leave a like, consider subscribing this channel, and let's see how we can do it. Okay, first of all, let's start to understand which system that we have. We have two machines. The first one is our Proxmox, where they were running with this IP address, and the second one will be our TrueNAS server. This TrueNAS server, as created a short time, both are running in a virtual machine only because I want to do this trial, but in production it's not advised to do it. Other thing, it's not advised you install your TrueNAS in a container inside Proxmox because it will not help anything. They just do the work, but in the case that you have any hard drive lost or you need to migrate your container for one TrueNAS to another one or for one node to another node, this one will not work so well. So as I told, you're gonna need at least two servers running. This one will be my TrueNAS and this one Proxmox. This Proxmox, I have already some hard drive or some storage. Those two already come as a standard when you install your US, and this one it's my ZFS. But then it's not interesting only to have my ZFS. Also I have my ZFS connection where it's only made with one hard drive. If I come here in my Sauber-Lab, here it's all my system. First, you're gonna need to have at least two servers. The first server will be your Proxmox and the second one will be your TrueNAS. And that you're gonna ask, why I need to have two servers? I cannot create only a virtual machine here and that in this virtual machine install TrueNAS and in this TrueNAS I make a mounting point. Yes, potentially you can do it in idea, in principle, but not work well because you go out from all the idea. The idea is to have one mounting point outside your network and your multiple nodes can access it. Otherwise, what's the point? You can make a share or a sum between your hard drives or between your nodes, and that will work really similar. Other thing, you need to consider that in this TrueNAS, we're not going to install SMB, we're going to install NFS. And you're going to ask why. If I come here in share, I have NFS and SMB. And the same thing for my service. I have NFS and I have SMB. They are two different protocols. They will work a little bit different, but will have exactly the same idea. They will make a mounting point or a common point of connection between more than one node. This one will be really useful when you want to migrate your data from one node to another one, or if you want to make a backup, external backup in that specific place. Suppose that you have a lot of containers or virtual machines here and you wanted to make backup. What's the idea for backup? You have at least three copies, one in production and more two. One of those, principally, if you can have in an external place, will be much better, but at least three copies that you should have as a backup. And what's the best thing to consider if you have already your TrueNAS and you only connect for it to work quite well. Other thing that it's interesting to consider, it's you gonna have some bottlenecks. Basically, if I get straight away a hard drive, the hard drive have a connection for 200 megabytes at least for read and write. And if I get SSD, they will have more 500, 600 megabytes of read and write. And that's your connection will be through this network. If I come here in my TrueNAS, in dashboard, I know that the base of this TrueNAS will be 1 Gbps. And I believe that will be exactly the same because both are in the same network card, and that's it's connected for a switch with 1 GB of network. And you're gonna ask what represents this one for me. Let me get our calculation. 1 megabps or 8 megabps, it's 1 megabyte per second. Imagine that you have 1 gigabyte or 1 gigabps of your network, and that if you divide for 8, maximum speed that will be able to transfer it's 125 megabytes per second. Suppose that you have a gigabyte or a 10 gigabyte network card, so will be exactly the same idea, divided for 8. So you're gonna be able to transfer 1.25 gigabytes per second. You're only gonna be able to transfer this kind of speeds if you have SSD or NVMe. You're not gonna be able to do it with a normal hard drive. Either that you get some cache here. Other thing, if you have hard drives and have a cache in your TrueNAS, they will be able to get faster, but as I told, your bottleneck will be your network connection. Other thing that's important to know is to have an idea that this mounting point will allow you to have containers, or either for containers communicate between other containers using this common mounting point. So let's start to do our installation, otherwise we're gonna start to explain more and more and take time. So first thing, I'm gonna come in my TrueNAS. Here in my TrueNAS, I will come here in my pool. So storage, pool. In this pool, I don't have any dataset, so I will need to create first my dataset. To do it, I will come here, add the dataset, and I will define a name. Let's define this name as Proxmox, because I will install Proxmox. I will not configure anything else because I don't know which kind of file or which kind of compression that I need in order to have a better performance. So I'll leave as a standard, that will be really great for me, and I will put submit. Once that I submit, I already have my Proxmox, but then I will create 2 extra folders or 2 extra SharePoints. I will create one data set called backup. So I will put Proxmox backup and I will save. And the next one will be my data. So I'll come here and I put Proxmox data and I save it. Now I have 2 data sets inside this big data set called Proxmox. What I'm gonna need to do, I need to configure my user, or at least create a user. To do it, it's simple. I will come here in my account, user, and I will create a user. We'll put add, and I will create any name. We'll put Sauber, and the same thing, Sauber. My email will leave empty because it's only for showing how to do it. I'll put my password. I type again my password, and it's match, and I create. I can create others, think lock user, permit for sudo Microsoft account, yes, but I will not do it. I only put submit. So now I have my user Sauber. I need to allow that this data set can be accessed with my user. So I'll come here in storage, pool, and I will come here in data set, permissions, and I will define the permissions for this user. So I come here, apply for user, and select my Sauber. The same thing I will do for my group. Imagine that I have admin group, or I have more than one user. I can set it. I will put group to right as well, apply for permiss, yes, I want to do it, and I put traverse as well, and I put save. I could potentially create a UCL, yes, I can create a UCL, but I don't need to do in this stage, but yes, I can do it. Now next step, I can come here my servers and check if it's activate. Yes, my case is activated the NFS, and I put it to start automatically. This is good because if you need to restart your computer for any reason, your server, this NFS will return in the same condition. So now I come here in my sharing and habilitate my NFS. Here my NFS I can put add, and I select exactly the path that I want. So I have 2 paths. The first one will be Proxmox backup, and I put save. And the second one, now I will put Proxmox data. Before I put save, I will come here advanced options, and the same thing that you can do the other one, but I will only show one time. So you can come here and define your user. I can come here and select Sauber-Lab, and the same thing for the group, Sauber. Also, I can define the authorization network. Imagine that you have one specific network that you want to authorize to enter in this TrueNAS or to access this NFS. So it's the time to tape. Because the both IP address is exactly the same, so I will put this one 192.168.1.0, which has /24. If I want a bigger, I can define here big, but 24 it means that it will go between 1 and 254, so we'll be covering this Proxmox, and I come here and put submit. Once that I submit, it means that these two connections is enabled and is activate. I could potentially encrypt it. Yes, I can encrypt, I can do a lot of things, but I don't need to do it. I can only come here and go to my Proxmox. Here in Proxmox, we're gonna try to add this specific share or mounting point. So to do it, I will come here in my dataset, needed to be in the dataset. If you come here in storage, they will only add this mount point for these nodes, not for all the nodes that you want. And here in the dataset, I come here in storage and I can add. As I told, you can add different options. So you can add LVM, you can add PTFS, will be something similar for ZFS. You can add the NFS, the one that you're gonna add, the Samba and others. So let's come for NFS. Once that I open this page, I can define the name. So the first one will be Proxmox data, the IP address. So we'll use exactly the same IP address as this one. Let's copy here because it's easy, and I can come here and paste. Once that I paste, the red appear what export that I have. If you put the wrong IP address, suppose that I come here, you don't have anything because it's not properly connected. So let's come here, and first I will add the data, which kind of documentation, which kind of information that I want to copy there. So I want a disk, I want a US, I want a containers, and I want a containers template. So these other two will be our backup. So now I can come here and restrict which node that will be able to access it. In my case, all the nodes will be able to access. I will put no restriction, and I can enable it and put add. So now that I add my data, what can I do? I can come here in my Proxmox data, and I can download some containers. Let's say get some templates for containers, and I decide to download the Ubuntu. Let's put Ubuntu, and let's wait to download. So what I told, let's get side by side my TrueNAS and my Proxmox on to understand. So now I have my TrueNAS and my Proxmox. If I come here and close it, I come here in my network connection, or at least my interface, and we'll add another template. I come here and we'll put Debian 10 and put download. So now they start to download. In the same time, the quantity of in and out will be increasing. Check here, they will take some seconds until update it, but soon you can see that it's going for 100 megabytes, and the maximum that we'll be able to do is 125 because of type of connection that I have. So in this way, all my data is saving this TrueNAS, and in this TrueNAS, I can create other tasks as a replica, scrubbing. I can create some snapshots, some backups in this specific. So in this way, all my data, all information can go for my TrueNAS, and will have a common mount point for all my nodes, or at least a place that you can save all your data in a safe location. So I hope that you guys like this video. In this way, you can use another server, in the case TrueNAS, but potentially can use any kind of NAS server, where you can have all your information in one place, and that is streamed for others' computers. This one's really interesting if you have a really powerful Proxmox server, and that's you want to have only these ones as a Proxmox server, and another server with a lot of hard drive, not so powerful. In this way, you can have all the information. Also interesting you to have it in the case that you like to move containers or move virtual machines from one node to another node, in the case that you have multiple nodes in your data center. So if you like this video and think that it was interesting, don't forget to leave your like, consider to subscribe for the channel, and see you next time. Bye.